Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Non-League Goals Show. I'm delighted to say that Jody Brown and Frank Wilson will be analysing tonight's action for you. Before our main game this evening, there were plenty of goals across the Bostick Premier Division on Saturday.
There are a flurry of goals at Meadowbank on Saturday as Dorking Wanderers continued their fine run of form. Jason Pryor opened up the scoring for the Surrey side on 42 minutes. And then in the second half came a flurry of goals. The referee decided to award a penalty for the home side after a handball in the area. Pryor stepped up to score his second of the game on 59 minutes. Then the home crowd only needed to wait for 2 minutes for the third goal. Great build-up play in the middle and some awful defending led the way for James McShane to open his scoring for the day and to score Dorking's third. And the goals kept on coming. On the 64th minute, Tom Richards was the man to add to the scoring for a rampant Dorking Wanderers side. Once again, there was some patient build-up play as Mark White's side looked like being at the sharp edge of the table. And again, with some resilient build-up play, Tom Richards got his reward. Then the home side had to wait for around 25 minutes before they scored their fifth. With the theme being resilient build-up play, it was a great effort to see Lewis Taylor get on the score sheet to round off the fifth. And to match as well, the dancing behind the goal was certainly not the greatest dancer material, but it was certainly worth showing in the highlight reel. And to wrap up an emphatic win for Dorking Wanderers, they shortly got their sixth goal just before the end of the game. Build-up play and great wing work on the far side wing led to only one conclusion. James McShane's second of the game, Dorking's sixth, and an emphatic win for the current league leaders. One side that possesses plenty of goals in their arsenal is Enfield Town, and they took on a beleaguered Margate in the Saturday fixture in the Bostick Premier League. Billy Bricknell is not shy of a goal or two, and he opened up the scoring on the 35th minute. Then Margate were put to the sword in a 14-minute goal salvo. The first goal in the second half came in the 52nd minute as Mickey Parcell was the grateful recipient of some poor defending to make the score 2-0 to Enfield Town. They were certainly flying from this point. And the home side only had to wait for 4 minutes for goal number 3. After an initial great save from Louis Wells in the Margate goal, Mark Weatherston duly poked home to make the score 3-0 and the points seemingly safe. And the points certainly were saved after another set piece on the 62nd minute. Kyle Oliide was able to make it 4-0 and a convincing win for Enfield Town. AFC Hornchurch certainly showed their quality in this match on Saturday against Corinthian Casuals. George Sanders scoring a superb free kick just on the stroke of half-time to give the home side the early advantage. Danny Bracken should have done a lot better with this effort, but there's no denying the quality of Sanders' free kick. Then via some Route 1 goalkeeping, it went from bad to worse for Corinthian Casuals. A moment to forget for Reece Hannigan. After some great build-up play from Sanders on the nearby wing, Hannigan was in the wrong place at the wrong time to put past his own keeper and to give a double advantage to the home side. Then the tie was really put to bed on the 84th minute and a fantastic solo effort from George Purcell, showing his quality to beat the defence and beat Danny Bracken in the Corinthian Casuals goal to make it 3 and the points very safe in a superb win for AFC Hornchurch. If you want goals, this was certainly the game to watch as Haringey Borough took on Burgess Hill Town. Joe Noble was brought down in the box and Ralston Gabriel coolly collected himself to score the first goal of the game on 38 minutes. Then a moment to forget for Burgess Hill Town after Josh Jones did all the work with this fine effort on the far side wing. Gabriel was easily able to poke the ball home on 41 minutes to make it 2. Then a contentious moment as the second half really came into life. Aaron Smith-Joseph's effort was originally thought to be aggrieved offside. But after a few moments with the linesman, the referee decided otherwise and gifted the goal to Burgess Hill Town. They were back in the game. Then 4 minutes later, a real moment of quality from Smith-Joseph. Certainly one to remember come Christmas. A fine curling effort to beat his man and to make the scores level. Then came penalty number 2 in the game, as Burgess Hill were going to go ahead. Burgess Hill player was brought down in the box and Ben Pope was cool, calm and collected to make it 3-2. And the away side then made it 4 on 63 minutes. Some poor defending and a failure to clear out that line made it very simple for Stephen Sargent to make the scores 4-2 to Burgess Hill. Then in the dying moments of the game, Burgess Hill Town hit the self-destruct button as another penalty was awarded inside the box. And Ralston Gabriel was there to confirm a solid hat-trick, and the game was very much alive. Then in the final moments of the game, a moment of madness and a rash challenge turned the game on its head. Noble brought down in the box once again, and guess who stepped up to score the emphatic penalty? Gabriel scores his 4th, it ended 4-4. What an advert for non-league football. There were no goals in this tie between Lewis and Potters Bar, but it was certainly full of action. Lewis Carey was tested with this fine effort and did well to keep the scores level. Then shortly afterwards, Potters Bar came very close to opening the scoring. James Budden's header hit the crossbar and nearly gave the away side the advantage. Lewis is still reeling of the loss of John T. Smith, who moved to Oxford United recently, and Omar Lawson really does need to step up if he needs to fill his shoes, and should have really converted with this effort. It finished goalless. This was another tie in the Bostick Premier League that had a lot of goals in it. Ricky Aguirre's fine solo effort was rewarded with this great goal that beat Rob Tolfrey to give the away side a 1-0 advantage. Then the second goal was stroking on almost lucky. Isaac Newton must have been thanking his lucky stars as the rebound managed to ricochet off him to make it 2 for Worthing. And then Ollie Pearce thought he had made the points very safe at this time on the 68th minute. A great counter-attacking effort made it 3-0 with 68 minutes gone. But it wasn't safe yet. Up steps Scott Davies with this fine set piece to reduce the deficit to 2. Again, well worthy of a replay and a superb goal at that. And it was very edgy for the away side as Louis Theophanes was able to stab the ball home to make it 3-2, but it was enough for Worthing to take all 3 points.
It was another high-scoring Bostick Premier Division game between these two playoff-chasing sides, and they didn't have to wait long for the opening goal. Jack Parter giving Tunbridge the lead inside the first minute. But Bognor was soon on level terms. This fine run and finish from Bradley Lethbridge on the 15th minute, making it 1 apiece. And then it was the turn of prolific goal scorer Jimmy Mewett. he was in the right place at the right time to send Bogner in front. But it didn't take the visitors long to hit back, and this fine header from Alex Reed saw him make it 2 apiece on the 28th minute. It would be a penalty that decided the game. The referee had no hesitation in awarding the visitors a spot kick. And Joe Turner turned home to clinch all 3 points for Tunbridge Angels. Leatherhead will still have aspirations of finishing in the playoff places come the end of the season, and they took the lead on the 15th minute thanks to this tap-in from Sean Okoji. They don't come much easier than that. But Wingate and Finchley were level on the 31st minute thanks to some suspect defending. This ball back to the keeper was never going to reach its destination, and it was Charlie Cole, the beneficiary, to draw the visitors level. And it was more suspect defending that gave Leatherhead all 3 points. Alu Naiji turning into his own goal to give Leatherhead the win.
This tie on Saturday in the Bostick North was certainly one to forget for Haybrid Swiss as they took on Felixstowe and Walton. The first goal came on the 3rd minute, it was simply too easy for the cross to find Jordan Matthews as he headed past Chris Haig to make the score 1-0 after just 3 minutes. The defending went from bad to worse on the 27th minute. Josh Kerridge was given far too much space and time to head past Chris Haig to make the scores 2-0. And Julian Dix will certainly have nightmares about their 3rd goal. It was a moment to forget for Rhys Morgan as Rhys Murphy was gift-wrapped a goal like at Christmas as it made the score 3-0 to Felixstowe and Walton. And the replay certainly shows it will be a moment to forget. Morgan leaving Chris Haig in no man's land as Henry was gift-wrapped the goal. And once again, a day to forget for Haybrid Swiss. It ended 3-0.
We were blessed with goals on Saturday across the Bostick Premier Division. We're not going to have a look at all of them, but we will have a look at the 2 free kicks. Both of them were good in their own merits. I'm going to get you two to decide which one you like the best. We're going to start with George Sanders of AFC Hornchurch. Decent effort, Jody?
Yeah, it's a very good strike. Gets it up and down well into the near post. The keeper, I thought he left it late to start moving his feet, but I think it's a very good strike and a good goal from a player that's getting a lot of attention at the moment.
Scott Davis, Kingstonian, was his rival with free kicks this weekend, and this wasn't bad either, Frank.
Yeah, I thought that the difference between that one and the first one we saw there is I think the goalkeeper is anticipating the ball's going to go in that corner, but the power and the accuracy of the strike in the end was just too much, and I don't think the goalkeeper could have done much to stop it. It was a great goal.
So Scott Davis gets the best free kick of last weekend, according to the guys on the back of the net sofa. Right, our main game this week was in North London as we saw Haringey Borough. They took on Brightlingsea Region.
As we look down in front of us, plenty of supporters have come out tonight to see this one. A game on Saturday, 4-4 draw. Why wouldn't you come back? That's a really long shot. What a goal that is! Superb finish. And it's Brightlingsea who take the lead. And it's Billy Hunt who scored it. What a strike that was. Caught everybody off guard, including the Haringey players from all of 25 yards, left-footed. Drilled it low, Pagetet couldn't get to it, and it nestles into the bottom corner, and Brightlingsea have the lead.
Well, that was a fantastic strike from his left foot. You know, he had no right to score from there, and that's one for the textbook there.
Yeah, Hunt has scored 17 goals this season. Condon scored 9, so they've certainly got that threat, but Haringey have got themselves in maybe an opportunity. It just flicks off a
Brightlingsea player. Haringey win the ball back, and it's really neat play again from Noble, who just plays the ball to the far side. And a really quick burst of pace, and Haringey are in. It comes all the way across, and it was almost the equaliser. And it was the head of Duronje, who just couldn't direct it into the bottom corner. And there is an example, James, that Haringey just turn up the pace and they're into the box.
They do. As soon as they do that, it's hard to defend against. They get the ball out wide, quick tempo, slip passing, fullback gets on, he does an overlap, crossing. For me, he should score. It's a great chance.
Real excitement inside the first 15 minutes of this game, and we expected nothing less. And now Brightlingsea will come forward, and it will reach the foot of Hunt, who's in a similar position where he struck before. He strikes again, and this time it's low, but it's into the midriff of Padgetet. Despite the 1-0 scoreline, you have to say that it's been a positive start from both sides, and Haringey have certainly threatened the Brightlingsea goal, although they haven't really created a clear-cut opportunity as of yet. Again, they'll come forward, and Akinwande shows a great turn of pace, and something that is apparent in all of these Haringey players. They can just turn on the style and turn on the pace at any moment, and Brightlingsea have to be wary of that. I'm sure they've done their homework, and again they've created an opportunity for a cross, Haringey, and it comes all the way across, and it reaches the feet of Gabriel. He looks like he's brought down. Referee actually points for a free kick to Brightlingsea. It was quite a long way out. Referee's got a really good view, but looked like Gabriel may have had a case.
Oh, I'm not quite sure about that decision. I mean, I don't actually know. Is he giving? So he's given a foul against Ralston, is he? I don't know. I think that's a bit harsh for me.
Just put it into the path of Akinwande. It's the first real spell of possession for Haringey, and it's gone through to Ralston. Gabriel, what can he do? Round the keeper, real opportunity, and it's just flicked away on the line. That was great defending. And it was the first real spell of possession for Haringey Borough, and almost the equalising goal.
Yeah, first good spell of possession. The 10 picks up on his back foot. It's a good forward run by Ralston. He slipped him in. I think Ralston, if he could, he's gone round the goalkeeper. The defender's just got on the line. But like I said, it's a kind of the best little bit of spell possession Haringey have had the last couple of minutes.
Haringey into that Brightlingsea half once again. Can they finish off this first half with an equaliser? It's a long effort, and it's not far away. It was a really good strike from Akinwande, who just turned. Again, he was about 30 yards out on his right foot, and it just went past the posts. Keeper outstretched.
You can tell though how the front four for Haringey have caused problems for teams in this league. You know, they've got pace, power. They're a bit unpredictable. You kind of don't know when they're going to come. They rotate. They're running behind.
And again, the ball over, and it's got in now. It's Hunt. It's a wonderful save from Padgetet. It was a long ball down the field by the keeper, Bradbrook. It fell onto the foot of Hunt, who took it on his left foot, and Padgetet made the save, and he probably should have scored.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's one of the best shot stoppers in this league, is Padgetet. It was a magnificent save. It showed, Kirby's lack of pace there for all of his experience. It just showed the lack of pace, and he was very unlucky there, Hunt, I think it was, not to have gone and scored their second of the game. Brought
away by Haringey, though, who do well to defend it, and they've got numbers coming forward, and they've again come forward with pace, and the ball is with Akinwande on the far side. What can he do? Delivers with his left foot, goes into the box, chance for a header, down, and the keeper just grabs the ball and clutches it into his chest inside the 6-yard box. It was the head of Duronje who just knocked the ball down. We mentioned Joel Nubler in the first half, Jim, as one of the standout players. He's got 13 goals this season from that position, which is a really good return.
Do you know what? I think he's one of the better players in the league, if I'm honest. I think he's got everything. He's big, strong, he works very, very hard. He's an intelligent lad, and he's a massive asset for them.
And it's Haringey that come forward once again with Akinwande on his left foot, drives the shot in, and it just bounces away from the keeper, but he clutches it at the second attempt.
There's 40-odd minutes still to go. They've started brightly the second half. Whatever he said at half-time, Tom, seems to have had the desired effect. And as James just said, they just seem to be a little bit more urgency in their game.
It certainly is at the moment from Haringey. It's another run, this time on the far side by Nubler, who does really well. It's laid into the box, it's with Gabriel. What can he do? Right-footed! Keeper had no chance to move, and it just went past the post from Gabriel. Edge of the box on his right foot. 25 yards out, look to play a little ball in. It doesn't come off, and Brightlingsea can bring the ball away again. Very much playing on the counter-attack now, the visitors, and it comes to the dangerous Hunt. What can he do? Drives forward into the 18-yard box, onto his left foot. Hunt goes all the way across, on the back post, should have been the second.
His head's looking to the heavens at the moment. He knows he should have been on the end of that. It was a great move. Started from Brothers himself out to Hunt. Hunt's looking dangerous, and a good ball across the face of goal, and he should have been on the end of that.
Halfway inside this Brighton-Sea half to Haringey Borough. Again, it goes long from Olafemi up into the box. It reaches Gabriel, turns and twists onto his right and left foot and does really well. Gabriel goes all the way through, still with Gabriel across the box. Really important interception. It was Matthew Cripps again, who's done ever so well in this game in defence, and it will be a corner to Haringey.
So if they score for me, I think I'll be a little bit annoyed at that.
In comes the corner towards the near post. It's well headed out, only as far as a yellow shirt again. Plenty of claims for a foul. It's going to run through though to O'Donoghue. Goes towards the back post, headed down, brilliant save, and it's going to be in for Haringey. And it is Ralston Gabriel who scores and equalises for the home side. It was one too many chances for the yellow shirts. A brilliant delivery by O'Donoghue. The keeper made the save, and it was Gabriel in the right place at the right time to finish.
Yeah, it's the second phase off the corner. It's broken, and Lionel Stone has just kind of got his foot there. To be fair to O'Donoghue, he's left-footed. It's a great stand-up with his weaker foot, his right foot. He's just stood the ball up. Mark Kirby back stick, and that's what Gabriel does, doesn't it? I mean, he hasn't been that effective this game, but he scored.
How worried would you be, Jim, if you were in the Brighton-Sea dugout?
I wouldn't be worried, but I would, you know, as I just mentioned, defensively, I'd be saying at the back line they need to push forward a little bit to try and stop the Haringey getting forward.
And Haringey do come forward once again. Lovely little step over by Akinwande. Plays it all the way across. Surely going to be the second goal. It was missed, and I think it was in the middle there. McDonald, yeah.
I think McDonald's missed it.
For me, the two centre-halves of Brighton-Sea region all night have been absolutely tremendous.
Long high ball up from the keeper in towards that Haringey box. Is there one last twist in the tail? It's a brilliant shot, almost went in off the bar, and there's follow-ups gone wide, unbelievably. What an effort that was, left-footed, out of nowhere, just clipped the top of the bar for Brighton-Sea region. It fell back down to Condon, who just couldn't steer it into the net, and Pagetet was beaten, it just trickled wide.
Yeah, to be fair, it was Yaxley who done the follow-up, and well, you know, he should be scoring there. He's going to be very disappointed.
I think Jake Turner may have been the original shot from him on his left foot. He just teed it up himself, and it just clipped off the bar, came back down, and it was the substitute Joseph Yaxley who I thought had turned it in. Again, is a mistake from Haringey, and Brighton-Sea maybe will have another opportunity to get themselves back in front in this game. It's wasted though, and Joseph Yaxley will be disappointed for the second time in the last few minutes, and Gabriel shows a turn of pace, and suddenly Haringey are now on the attack into the box. Lovely run from Gabriel. What a goal this would be, all the way through to the substitute. It scores, and Haringey Borough
What a goal.
scored, and it's the substitute Ricky Stapleton who puts the ball into the net, but it was Ralston Gabriel who made the goal. What a wonderful run from Gabriel. He twisted and turned into the box, and the rebound fell to the substitute Stapleton, who put the ball in, and it's the winner, surely, for Haringey Borough.
Well, football's, as I say, a funny old game. Just prior to Haringey's first goal, we bemoaned the fact that Brothers missed what probably was an open goal. Literally just 30 seconds before that goal, the second goal there, Yaxley missed an even better opportunity to put Brighton-Sea in front, and they go down the other end, and credit to Gabriel, what a run.
I mean, but Gabriel, that is outstanding, isn't it? He's picked the ball up on the halfway line, he's travelled past 3 or 4 players. You know, that's outstanding from Gabriel.
So possibly one of the best games that we've seen in a long time. It was thoroughly entertaining, and Brighton-Sea region certainly didn't come there to make up the numbers, and their start was really impressive, Jody.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, Tom Roffery at Brighton-Sea is doing a tremendous job on low resources to be as competitive as they are, and it was shown early on in the game against one of the league's front runners, Haringey.
And the pressing from the very kick-off, as we can see now, was really intense.
Yeah, they did it. They did it throughout the game. They pressed really well, and it looked organised as well. You'll see a couple of examples here, possibly here. you'll see the press came in. Condon went tight to Olafemi as Kirby had the ball, so he cut off that pass to the fullback. Billy Hunt cut off the pass, the switch out to the other side centre half, which is probably what Haringey would have liked to have done and gone out the other way. Brothers pressed really aggressively, but he probably, I would say, dived in. He overcommitted, and Kirby actually was able to play out there, and he hit the right winger. I think possibly Kirby made the wrong decision. Maybe could have played into his centre midfielder, and then they would have got out in good possession. Played to the right winger, and they were able to press the long ball and win it back high, and they went and created a chance.
And eventually, as you said, they created a chance because they got a corner out of this, and that second stage of pressing worked really well.
Yeah. They forced him to go long. Like I say, I think Kirby made the wrong decision. Maybe should have played short into midfield, but he chose to go long.
And this is a much better example of how pressing should look if you're going to do it effectively.
Yeah. I think it's very similar here. Condon's here cutting off the fullback. The 4 comes in, follows the midfielder in, who's obviously gone in to play out from the back. This time, Brothers, rather than overcommitting and allowing them to come out into these areas, you'll see he arcs his run, stops the pass there, coaxes them to go back to the keeper, stops any sort of switches of play. The 9's reading that, the 10's cutting this off, and they can't play out, so they're forced. They're forced to go long, and it's a hopeful ball forward as a result of not just good pressing, but intelligent pressing and cutting off of passing angles.
Yeah, and it was not just the pressing that was impressive for Brightlingsea, it was also Billy Hunt and his contribution to that first half. He was really on fire.
Yeah, he was. He was the real focal point for Brightlingsea, Billy Hunt. Brothers as a pairing, really, I thought they were excellent on the night. And they caused real problems, you know, very direct, but here you can see good ability to go one-on-one as well to get his strike off on goal. You know, I thought there was a lot of dimensions to his game that were good. This clip here shows, you know, what a nuisance he is from set pieces. That's from a goal kick, you know, just a steady flick on there and he's in on goal, and it was poor defending. And we saw too many examples of it, Ben, really. Again, here, this is from the goal. He's allowed to bring the ball down, and then it's a great strike in the end. But I just thought that there was a lack of organisation from them, really, in terms of letting him score.
I've got to ask you, Jody. There, we saw the goal. You can't, you know, deny the class to take the ball down and the finish. But there was a defender with him. Should he have done a lot more to stop that shot going in?
Firstly, Billy Hunt is a really good finisher, but he is all left foot. And I'm sure that the manager would have made his players aware of that. And you saw throughout the first 15 minutes, Billy getting shots away on his left foot, always turning to his left, even there, back to goal, receiving, turning inside onto his left. I think the defenders should have, if they didn't know before the game, they should have cottoned onto it, and he shouldn't have been able to get on his left foot quite as easily as he did. But take nothing away from him, you know, that's kind of a stereotypical Billy Hunt goal, to be honest, to bring it down, shoot from distance, and he scores a lot of good goals.
They were up against a really good side in Haringey, who were always going to have opportunities and chances, and certainly they did have a couple of chances in the first half and probably should have had a penalty. It'd be interesting to get your thoughts on this. We'll get a replay in a moment, but referee gives a free kick the other way. Penalty for you guys?
Stonewall. For me, Stonewall. I mean, as soon as the ball is loose there and he has to come through the back of him, he doesn't play the ball. I mean, for me, I thought it was a Stonewall pen.
That's an interesting one. I think he does get a foot on the ball, and I think he's slightly from the side. But if it happened in the middle third of the pitch, ref would probably give a foul. I think in the penalty area, they look for it to be really, really blatant before they opt to give penalties.
We went in at 1-0 to Brightlingsea. It was always going to be tough to keep that scoreline against a really powerful Haringey side, and the first goal did come eventually.
A set play, so they'll be disappointed. Defended well, cleared the first ball. Second phase comes back in, and to be honest, that's a great header from Kirby, and Gabriel does what he does so well. We spoke about him before on the show. He's an instinctive finisher, and there he was again to instinctively prod home from close range.
Are we saying that there was nothing you could do about that? We don't want to particularly say that Brighton FC were defending badly, but was that a goal that you, as a manager, you might accept was a good header?
I think the only thing that I would have maybe liked to have seen better is the goalkeeper's parry. I think that, credit where it's due, Kirby gets up well between two defenders and he heads the ball down, but it doesn't look like it goes with real venom, and the goalkeeper parries it right out into the middle of the 6-yard box, and as Jody said, Gabriel's there to poke home and does what he's paid to do. But I thought that the goalkeeper maybe could have handled it closer, caught the ball maybe, but that might be a bit critical.
Yeah, I think that is harsh. Point blank range. Probably the initial clearance. They cleared it to the edge of the box, and I think the 8 held on to the ball and should have got rid of it in that area of the field.
The second goal was coming, and it did eventually come, and it was a really special goal.
Yeah, obviously it starts off with a great effort from Aaron Condon, really unfortunate. Then Yaxley's come in, and you've got to finish that. And these are the fine margins that decide games, because from the very next attack, Haringey have won the ball. Olufemi breaks well. It's a sensible pass. I'm not sure why the defender goes in and dives in there, but great touch from Gabriel. Then from here on, it's great work from him. And then the awareness to square it to Sappleton, and it's a good tidy finish from Ricky. Now,
it was a really good goal. We're not going to take anything away from Ralston, Gabriel and Sapleton as well with a finish. But we're going to play it again, and I'm going to get you to look at the movement of Gabriel, and perhaps if there was an opportunity for the defenders to stop it at any point. And I know that's a really difficult thing to say because he's a powerful player, but would there have been an opportunity for anybody to perhaps stop this move?
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to knowing your players, Ben, knowing your opponents. And, you know, it's well documented and known that, you know, Ralston Gabriel, he's a big, strong lad. You know, we see him do this week in, week out. He drives well with the ball, he's physical. I think that as a manager or as a player, what you expect to happen is as soon as my trigger in that clip there is as soon as he has that fantastic first touch to come inside and he begins the driving run, I think that as a midfield player, you've got to pull him, you've got to tug his shirt. Then you've got to understand and be aware there that as soon as he's come inside, that's the danger. If the fullback or the winger shows him outside in that picture and he goes down the line, then I'd say, you know, defend him properly, stand him up and see what happens. But as soon as he drives infield, that becomes a danger. And, you know, we've got the benefit of the clip here and the footage to see what happens, but he's got to bring him down.
If he doesn't bring him down, how else do you defend this situation?
I don't completely agree with this theory that he should have been brought down. I thought, first of all, it was poor. There's a counter-attack. This lad here shouldn't have dived in and allowed Gabriel to turn and face him. He should have just decelerated, forced him to hold it up and go backwards. Then as it plays on, yeah, arguably he could have grabbed him there, but again, there's still lots of bodies. There's lots of people between him and the goal. We play it on. Josh Gould here. He looks like he's got himself into a good position. He's showing Gabriel outside, but he doesn't work his feet fast enough to keep him going outside. If he keeps Gabriel going outside, I think they defend that situation. As it plays on here, you then look at Cripps. So Cripps is now coming in. His body shape is all over the place. He's actually facing his own goal.
Which player are we talking about here?
So Cripps just here. He's facing his own goal, gets his feet all wrong and ends up making a pretty weak attempt to block or intercept. But then I'd say, yeah, you know, it's just very good play from Gabriel because this defender here has got no choice but to go and shut him down. He's 8 to 10 yards out. He's very likely to shoot. And Gabriel's speed of thought here to just roll it sideways to Sappleton is excellent, and the finish is very, very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we mustn't take anything away from the run from Gabriel, and obviously the finish as well. It really was first class, and as we say, a thoroughly entertaining game. Haringey, who took all 3 points. Plenty more football this week. We were blessed with midweek action, and we start our roundup with the rest of this week's games.
After a packed week of action, all that remains is to look at the Bostick Premier Division table, and it's Dorking Wanderers who lead the way after 29 games with 59 points. Haringey Borough hot on their heels, just 3 points behind, and behind them there are just 5 points separating 11 teams who will all have aspirations of a playoff finish come the end of the season. As for the bottom half, another miserable week for Margate sees them looking over their shoulders, and much work to do for Wingate and Finchley, Burgess Hill Town and Whitehawk, who find themselves in the relegation places. That's it for another non-league goals show. We're back next week. My thanks to Jody Brown and Frank Wilson, and we'll see you again next time.